Hello everybody, we're here with Vaylantz, and you know what? That means it's a new deck profile, because that's what we do when new cards come out. Let's take a deep dive into the deck and see what we're going to be going with. So, we decided to go the Cyberstain approach. I seen a few deck lists that were not running Cyberstein. They were running this card instead. But I decided, why not run both? I think in a lot of cases, this card right here will allow you to get out of some sticky situations on follow-up turns. But Cyberstein, it allows the deck to have a very, very powerful turn one. And don't get me wrong, this deck can consistently put out four material Appaloozas like very, very easily. But if we want to have a way of protecting Appalooza, being able to Cyberstein Neterio Exterio makes the deck have a threat that it normally would not have. I also want to say this deck is very good going second as well, as weird as it sounds. First of all, we have some hand traps to mess with our opponent's plays. We also have Gizmak Okima, which is good for board wiping big boards after they use their negates. But more importantly, this deck can easily go into level 10s because it's very easy for this deck to go into the Genesis Grand Duke. And the level 10s allows us to go into Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, which is very easy to OTKO your opponent with. So, I guess we kind of have the logistics of the deck. I will say this ahead of time. I just did not have enough material on this account that I'm playing on to make a Nightmare Unicorn. Otherwise, I would say replace the Dark Charmer with Nightmare Unicorn, because it's ideally what we want to do with IP Masquerena. Or you can put in an Avermax, which is also pretty damn good with the deck too. But I feel like Avermax is a little awkward, because a lot of times our end board will be Appalooza, IP Masquerena, and Exterio. And for you to go into Mech Knight, you would have to link off all three of those cards. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that. I think it's fine if you have the Nightmare Unicorn, replace the Dark with Nightmare Unicorn. I think that will make the deck pretty solid overall. But yeah, let's get into the games and we can see how the deck plays, and then we'll give a recap at the end of this. Hello, we're here for game number 1, and honestly our hand is kind of ass. If we're starting off with Shininomi, we typically don't really care for having the field spell in our hand, because we usually search it. And we don't really search. I got a fresh for that. We don't really search the field spell. You'll see what I get. We usually get this card, because this card allows you to get the Senate Switch, which is actually not a bad card in this deck. It's actually pretty good. We bricked on that pretty bad. But we should be able to kill our opponent. We're going second. His turn was super weak. Honestly, his turn was kind of whack. So Senate Switch allows you to pretty much search another monster out, which is really nice. And then we're going to go into Beyond the Pendulum, which is going to get our another card so we can Pendulum Summon here. Here I did make a misplay though. So, like, if we're talking about misplays, I should have searched another level 4. Solely because we haven't used Vaylantz, this world ability yet. So, like, I would have been able to special summon, another card here, and then I could have linked these off into, like, an Electromite or something. And then I could have used this to bring this up, and then have both of these go into Gear Gannett, and then I could have gotten my Cyberstein that way. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, because we definitely can just go for the OTK. So we're going to pop both of his cards with our Beyond the Pendulums effect. And we ended up opting for this instead. We're going for Celine. We're pretty much just going to kill him, so I guess it really didn't matter. But I'm just saying, if you ended up going first in that situation, that's kind of the play you'd be going for right there. But we have like plenty of damage here. And he's dead. This just kind of shows you how easy it is to OTK with this deck. And I know he didn't really put up that big of a board, but like we also like the deck plays very good through disruption. Because they have so many recurring effects. Hello, we're here for game number 2 against Superman J. J, that's a sexy name. 86. Delicious. We're gonna have to give him our hot meat. Well, okay, forget about what he said. Cyberstein's in our hand, so we don't have to go for the Cyberstein play, which is where you go for the Gear Gigant. So if you open up Cyberstein, or you have an easy way of going into it, pretty much an easy way would be Small World. So there's like a few ways you can get it, but see, we're gonna go into Shinome. Look how beautiful this is. The Lant World. Pop those a weasel. We get the Senate switch. Cyberstein's gonna pop, and that's pretty much our turn. So our turn was actually horrendous. But I wanted to point out, like, this is kind of, like, this shit happens. Did I misplay there? Possibly. I'm trying to think of what I possibly could have done. So, this is actually an important factor, too, because your opponent can use your field spells against you. So, getting rid of one of this field spells turns the other one off, so that's actually not a horrible thing to do. But, yeah, it was pretty ass, if I have to be honest with you. Yeah, pretty freaking disgusting. I honestly do not really like Selene that much. Selene only really works in the deck if you have a spellcaster in the grave, and like you need to have a monster in the grave. You can't have like Beyond the Pendulum doesn't really work with it because it needs to be set in defense and it doesn't work. So I don't know, but we're playing against Pendulum, so yeah, we're just pretty much gonna showcase the absolute visceral strength of Notoria Exdia. Now, look how ridiculous this is. He's just like, oh, I want to play the game. I'm playing my Perform of Pal Odd Eyes deck. I want to play the game. I'm just trying to play the game. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I don't play the game. We're just fast forwarding this. So, funny enough, just to give you guys an idea, even though I have both of these in my hand, I honestly should have just said no to this. It doesn't really matter though. Since I have both of these in my hand, as long as you set a card, because it just needs 2 field spells on the field, it doesn't mean active field spells. So as long as this is like set, you can actually activate this ability over here. It's kind of fucking weird. But we're going to get a draw. Honestly, I'm kind of getting annoyed because I'm bricking. Also, I'm an idiot too. Like, I should have placed this over here for the Senate switch. But your boy's a complete moron, so... we're gonna fast forward through this. Our opponent just concedes. And that's going to be it. Superman J, more like, I got the kryptonite. Yeah. Dude, I'm so hilarious. Hello, everybody. We're here against Chiba Babada Habada Juan. Sibi Hui Juan. Not sure what that means. Let me know down in the comments if what I said was racist. Hopefully it wasn't. And you guys better not troll me. I swear to God, you guys are just going to say yes anyway. So we're playing against Floateries. And, yeah, we're going to Ash this activation. Which could be devastating because honestly, if they have if they had a bird fall up there, it's actually really bad for me. But he bricked. He ruined my day. Now I ruined his day. And he ruins my day again. Well, I never does Flo now play Psalm Strikes? Is that a thing Flo does now? We're just gonna start beating his ass with the Voltage Viscount Viscount. I'm gonna beat his ass with some Viscounts. I just realized that these all like night stuff. Ninja, we got a ninja. A Viscount isn't. That's kind of fucking weird. You have a ninja and a Viscount, like completely different eras. There was no Viscounts in Japanese history, was there? Which, because there's obviously no ninjas inside of, like, European history, so, like, it kind of doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'm looking too into this, but I feel like I'm not looking enough into this. I thought this was funny, because he bricked again, and then I'm just like, okay, let's just kill him. You always have to have a video of you killing Flo. Like, a match of you killing Flo. But that's interesting. We're going to look at other cards the next match and see if that's the case. Alrighty, we're here for game number 4, question mark? I'm not 100% sure, but alright, what's this name? Priestess. So this looks like she's in a Japanese setting and all this stuff. Why is some of the cards, like these look Japanese, right? Like almost like feudal era. Like, but why, but then you get thrown off with this. Marquise. Like, Mad Marquise, that's not the same fucking area in history, right? It's really weird. But I guess it's all made up, so it doesn't really matter. But it looks like there's a feudal area, and then there's like some high-tech kingdom over here. Maybe this high-tech kingdom goes by like a monarchy. Which kind of makes sense. Pretty much we're comboing off. We're doing like the combo to set up the most crazy board we possibly can, I think. Beyond the Pendulum. Grabs the Kendo Spirit. People say I pop, lock, and drop it. Pop. Silent switch. I feel like I click a lot during these matches. Sorry, Preston. You know what's actually the nice thing about getting the field spell up? He can't imperm me. Like, even if he wanted to imperm me, he wouldn't be able to. Alright, well, there's an Appaloosa. I guess that wasn't the best board I could make, but that's the board I made, which is an Appaloosa. And then I do this in his upkeep. So I max see the upkeep, and then upkeep. Jesus Christ, that's a magic term. And the standby, the draw phase. Jeez, what is wrong with me? I know I'm fat, but Jesus. We are playing against Synchro though, so this is actually kind of broken. Like, resolving that Maxi against Synchro is actually devastating. And I just let that resolve. And then he just concedes because he's like, I can't fucking do anything anymore. That was a cringe laugh. I'm going to end it now. Hello, this is game number 5, I think. You know what? Actually, you know what would actually help me? If I just look at some of these other cards. Like, we have the Fusion. Genesis Grand Duke. So he's a Duke. But these guys are clearly like Japanese feudal time warriors. That's kind of odd. Alright, we're comboing. We get the Marquis. Marquis is going to special summon itself. We're going to roll. I like his ability, but I fucking am so unlucky with these rolls. I'm so unlucky with these rolls, and I like a lot of these games I need it to hit too. I'm like praying that it fucking hits. Can we actually come back from this? Can we actually make a board from here? Yeah, we actually... So, if our opponent didn't draw the 1 Nibiru... I'm going to also point out, our opponent has like a 45 card deck. He runs 1 Nibiru for crossout, and he had it in his opening hand. Pretty fucking unfortunate. Pretty much unplayable at this point. But I do want to point out, we had a heavy metal foe Electromite on the field. We had both level 4s, so we're going to be able to go into Gigant, right? Gigant will allow us to go into Cyberstein. So we'd probably be able to end on a Cyber, like the Notorio Exterio. We'd be able to end on a Notorio Exterio and Appaloosa 3 materials if he didn't do this. So, well, this just shows what happens when you get Nibiru'd and you don't have nothing to stop it. Hello, we're here for the final duel against G-Vision? G-Vision? I think that's how you pronounce it. We have Cyberstar naturally in the hand, and I do want to preface, I know these games didn't show it. It's because I didn't want to show blowouts every time. Like, I wanted to show, like, a variety of games for the most part. I kind of wish I was able to get a good going second game. But a lot of the times when you start comboing off going second, your opponent will just concede. Which is kind of unfortunate. Or sometimes when because these games were taken in gold, because there's a new account, I just feel like some games I was playing against people who were really bad, who just had no idea what the fuck was going on, and I didn't want to showcase those games. I'm just trying to showcase the deck to show what it can do. But I'll be completely honest. We'll talk more about it in the recap. But I wasn't feeling the Vaylantz that much, to be completely honest. I feel like you could run like a pure version, but it's just it's just worse than this. You know what I mean? Because look, we have an Appaloosa. This is gonna bring that. Bring that forward. And an IP. Now, if we had that Nightmare Unicorn in the deck, we have Nightmare Unicorn for a Material and Materia X. Like, there's just no way our opponent plays through this. Like, just it's fucking over for them. I will say these field spells are fucking liabilities, though. It does make me a little nervous. But the thing is, like, nobody fucking reads the field spells. I don't think they realize they can activate it themselves either. But, well, we draw. And it's pretty much over for our opponent. They activate Magician's Navigation. I mean, there's just no way you win. I just negate everything you do. Which is honestly kind of a boring playstyle in my opinion. Not a big fan. We'll talk about this in the recap. What I think about the deck and the archetype as a whole. But let's get to it. Hello, let's get into the recap. But before that, thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. I post videos all the time. At least 5 days a week, at least as of recent. And we also do a lot of cool stuff in the Discord. So please, if you can join the Discord, I think that would be pretty neat. This Friday, pretty big. We're going to be doing a Pokemon stream. See how that goes. We're going to be streaming the new game. Should be pretty fun. Let's talk about this deck. This deck was like okay. Was it the funnest deck? I actually didn't really have that much fun with this deck, which is kind of weird because a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, Vaylantz, I don't know, was a lot of fun," but I just didn't have that much fun with the deck personally. It was kind of boring. And maybe it's because I played this version where it's like you summon the Toria Beast and Appaloosa and you just negate everything, and maybe that's the reason why it's kind of boring. Oh, I shut your opponent off from doing anything ever. You win. Do you have a Kaiju? No. Guess I win. I win that one. I don't know. I feel like this type of combo kind of bores me now. It's just very repetitive, gets broken up easily. In gold, I'll say this is a new account, so like it was in gold. I was maybe like 65% win rate. It was like all right. I'll tell you right now, if I play like a good deck in gold, I have like a close to 100% win rate. So this kind of tells you a lot, you know. Some of it might have been user error though, because I will say this deck does take a massive. I'd say it takes a pretty big brain to play. First of all, because you really need to be very good with how you're using the abilities of these cards. Second of all, keeping track of all the triggers. Pretty much, when I say keeping track of all the triggers, like, oh, did I use the effect of Duke? Did I summon Duke this turn? Oh, I didn't? If you summon this, you lock yourself into Vaylantz monsters. You know, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you kind of need to, like, keep track of all that. And if you're a new player, it might be a little overwhelming. Also, it's pretty annoying how the only way we can go into Gear Gigant is really, because I tried to find other ways of going into it, but literally the only way you can go into it is like with this card, Viscount, because he's the only level 4 machine in the deck, and I tried looking up other level 4 machines that might work, but it just made the deck so awkward to play. So yeah, it was just, you're better off not doing it, because you always have to save your normal summon for Cyberstein for this to work. But yeah, I probably wouldn't play this deck again personally. On a power level, if you get the combo off, obviously it's like absurd power level, right? You automatically win unless they have something like Droplet or freaking Kaiju. But if you're just talking about the deck and actually being able to get the combo off with your opponent playing Disruption and stuff, I don't think I'd win many. I think if I play this deck in Diamond, I think I would lose a good amount of games. So, that being said, I think the deck's probably around a 7, 6.5. And it's definitely, it's like a meme tier deck in my opinion. So if you're wondering, should I use my Ultra Rares? My hard-earned Ultra Rares that Konami seems to give us less and less of. Should I use that to build this deck? I'd probably say no. I'd probably say straight up no. If you already have a lot of these cards because you opened up the packs and you have them, I guess you could build it. But I would recommend, personally, if I were you, I would recommend building a more pure variant. Because I think you'd probably have more fun with it. This deck, I think you'd win more with this deck, though. Because going into Cyberstein is extremely powerful. I mean, this card's broken for a reason, right? Look at him. Look at this fucking Chad. He's like, I don't give a fuck about the rules. Like, just bring out those fusion summons. I think the deck, like I said, I think the deck's okay. Okay. Like, I don't think, if you have a lot of these cards, and honestly, on my main account, I actually do own a lot of these cards. I just didn't have enough to craft, or I didn't have any of the field spell, plus I didn't have this. You could probably actually make the deck without this card if you're building this type of variant. But this card's very good at like coming back into the game too, because it's really annoying to deal with. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions about the games I've played, whether or not it's how you feel about having this card or this card in the deck or whatever, leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them, because this deck was like one of the ones that was just like. See, the Scareclaw deck was like a slam dunk. That was like in my wheelhouse. It was fun. It was fun to play. This was like kind of like, kind of boring. I don't know. Wasn't a big fan. It is what it is. I like the nitty gritty decks where you get into the weeds with people, you know? If you guys have another deck list you want me to go over, please let me know down in the comments. I've been going through a lot of the new decks. So we just did Scareclaw. We did Vaylantz. The next deck we're probably going to do is something with Performa or with Odd Eyes or something like that. So it really depends on how that's going to look. I don't know about the Odd Eyes cards, though. I don't know how good they are. The Performa deck is going to be nuts. It's going to be really good. But the Odd Eyes seem a little odd. No pun intended. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Goodbye.